going on, guys? Welcome back to the Free Rein 6M podcast. Today it's me and Maynard. We're going to do a little different. We got a bunch of shit going on in the world as usual, and things we want to talk about. We got playoff football, we got election, we got, let's see what else we got. Most pressing issues to Americans. So kicking it off with some playoff football.
Yeah.
We got the Chiefs game today. It's fucking cold as fuck.
It's about to be one of the coldest NFL games ever played.
Yep. I think they're saying around game time, -5 or so.
Something like that. The comfort index was like -15 or something like that.
Yeah, so hopefully the Chiefs come away with the win there. And then we got the Texans and Browns game coming up here in about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco,
coming off the couch
Stroud
against the rookie.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah, that rookie's really good.
Yeah. Joe Flacco, old as shit.
Yeah.
Still doing his thing.
Just slinging the ball around. That's crazy.
And he's got that personality that I don't give a fuck personality, but I've been here.
Yeah, right.
You might have some shit
he's like
to talk on me,
but
I've been
games.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's probably got some beers on the sideline and
right.
Just fucking hanging out.
I was watching Steve Smith on NFL Network or whatever the other night, and because somebody was saying, well, he's probably staying in shape, and Steve's like, no. He ain't fucking working out. He ain't been working out. I know him. I played with him.
Yeah. I seen when Deshaun Watson went down, there was this post going around, and it had, it was starting to get kind of viral, but it was Joe Flacco on the plane, on this guy's plane with him, just normal fucking Southwest or whatever plane, sitting next to Joe Flacco. He's like, why are you going to Cleveland? And Joe Flacco tells him, just watch ESPN. The next fucking day, this dude's signing with the Browns. Now he's in the playoffs. Such
and
nuts.
I think he's the best quarterback since he started. Like, he's thrown for more yards and more touchdowns or something since he started. Something like that.
Look up how many, Zane, look up what his total, just his stats right now. Touchdowns.
Yeah, just Flacco stats, 2023.
Yardage.
I mean, he's been crazy.
Yeah, they're 11.
He's got the best defense in the league, so that helps.
Yeah, they're 11-6.
Yeah.
Like the type of season that they've had.
It's got to be the best wild card record ever.
I mean,
when's the last time we saw a wild card team that was 11-6?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's happened, but that's crazy.
13 touchdowns.
How many games did he play?
5.
This dude's off the couch. Just,
Come off the couch and don't work out.
Yeah.
1,600 yards in 5 games.
Solid.
Yeah,
off the couch.
90.2 rating.
Off the couch.
4 or 5 games off the couch, yeah.
And the Bears have Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So the Chiefs game today, -5 or so.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs, I think we'll see a big scoop, full, healthy serving of some Pacheco nastiness throughout the game.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see him come out fucking raging.
I agree. I think our defense is going to put it to them. I think they're going to put so much pressure on Tua.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Tyreek gets a touchdown, but Mostert's banged up. Waddle's banged up. They got like 3 or 4 players on defense they're missing.
Yeah. I don't know if Tyreek will have a big game or not. I don't know. The way it went last game, he was talking all that shit. When he come out with like 40 yards and a fumble.
Yeah.
Nice.
McDuffie caused a fumble too.
And we have Snead.
McDuffie's the one we got in the trade. We got him in the draft, but we got that draft pick from the trade for Tyreek.
Yeah. So about 40 yards and a fumby. Yeah. That's what he came out of that with.
I think Kelsey's going to have a big game.
He better.
He's going to have a big game.
I wonder if Taylor Swift's going to be at the game.
I hope not.
What do you think about that the Taylor Swift?
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, how often do you make millions and millions of dollars a year playing highest level of sports and going to be a Hall of Famer? Yeah. First time ballot Hall of Famer. And you meet a woman that makes 3 times more than you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And she's good looking, right? I mean, shit.
Yeah. fuck it.
I don't blame him. I ain't hating him.
It's been a whole. It's like this year. It's been more about the drops and the bad offense
Penalties.
And Taylor Swift than it has been about.
I was reading something that makes the case that the whole what's her name?
Taylor Swift
has been
Tyler Swift. You wouldn't be surprised these days. She was Tyler.
I don't want Kelsey beating my door down, giving me a hard time about it. But,
no, it's Taylor.
But Taylor Swift has been a distraction because it puts so much pressure on the whole organization that she's there, and you got planes flying over and helicopters and all this attention that they don't normally get. That is actually a distraction. It was an NFL a retired player that was talking about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Anyway,
what do you expect?
Chiefs are gonna fucking kick ass at -5 fucking degree weather tonight. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think always in this, everybody in Kansas City, in any bad situation or any tough game, the one thing you always remember, and this year the defense is fucking great. We can't waste this year. But the one thing that we always have here in Kansas City that you always say to yourself is we got Mahomes.
We got Mahomes.
It don't fucking matter.
It doesn't.
It don't fucking matter. Maybe I'll eat my words after this.
Well, even when you don't have receivers, they're dropping the balls, and you got tackles that are penalties. You got all these things that you don't normally have. You have a chance to win the game because you got Mahomes.
Yep.
Nobody else in the league can feel like that.
Yep.
Nobody. The only team that could ever feel like that was Tom Brady.
Yeah. The other team knew it too.
Right.
With Tom Brady.
Right.
Anytime you played against Tom Brady, it was like, fuck.
You remember the Super Bowl where they played Atlanta?
Like every time.
You remember the Super Bowl where the Patriots played Atlanta and Atlanta was up 28-3?
You just knew.
That team didn't worry about it.
Yeah.
They went out there and got it done and won that game. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just those certain players, the Jordan, the Mahomes, the Kobe, Brady. You just know.
Yep.
And they're fucking winners, You just know. Like, they ain't going to let this happen.
No.
They ain't going to let this.
Nope.
And I guess you've seen it in the Super Bowl with Brady and Mahomes, but that wasn't, Mahomes had no offensive line.
That wasn't
absolutely no. I think he ran for like hundreds of yards
without
behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, right.
Like, trying to get away
He's
from
running
everybody
for his
the whole
life,
game.
trying to get a pass off.
Playoff football, can't beat it.
Yeah. He has not played one road game in the playoffs since he came into the NFL.
Yeah.
So when they win this game, it might be that we're playing in Buffalo next week.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be his first road game of his entire career.
It's going to be tough.
In the playoffs, yeah.
But I think if he does figure out a way to
go Steelers, by the way.
I don't think it's our year. I think the things are just so much different this year for us. You just feel it and you see it.
If they even go to the Super Bowl, given the year they've had.
Oh, yeah.
It will be primarily because of their defense and Mahomes.
Yeah.
Will be nothing else. And Pacheco.
It sucks because we might waste this year of the best defense that Mahomes might ever have.
Yeah.
Has had to this point.
Yeah.
We've never had a defense like this.
Yeah, we may not have Jones next year.
Mm.
I'm sure they'll re-sign Snead. Got to have him.
Hot Jones, take. Trade. Get rid of Kelsey. Get rid of Tooney. Sign Chris Jones.
The only thing about the Tooney thing is that guard to guard, including the center, is the best three in the whole league.
Yeah, we're overpaying. Look up Joe Tooney's contract.
By the way, we got Zane here. He's doing some research for us while we talk shit.
Yeah. Look up Joe Tooney's contract. $80 million, 5 years. Largest contract for a guard in NFL history.
Yeah, but that guy has been lights out.
Best guard in the NFL.
I'm kind of thinking Donovan Smith, though, is going to come through tonight. The left tackle.
PFF says Zach Martin, Dallas Cowboy. Let's see. Joe Tooney is number 5.
Okay.
Number 5, Zach Martin. Cowboys contract. What was the Joe Tooney?
Huh?
Zach Martin, is this his rookie this $8 million, 4-year $8 million?
No. Well, that's the hard thing. When
Martin will earn a base salary of $18 million, 2024. But that's whenever you say Joe Tooney, $60 million.
Whenever you're looking at those numbers, it depends on where they're at in their contract, how much guaranteed they got up front. So it's hard doing apples to apples with these guys.
But you can go out there and find you a guard. You can find you a guard.
You can
if you want to keep Chris Jones.
But we have the best guard to guard threesome in the league.
Yeah.
And that Trey Smith on the right side, that guy,
he's a monster.
He is.
But Joe Tooney's not that young.
No, he's not.
He came from the Patriots.
He's in his second contract, so he's not that old either.
Yeah. We're overpaying.
And then you got what's our center's name? The wrestled
Creed Humphrey.
That guy is.
He's a monster.
You see him walking around out there. It's like he's like 3 feet wide or 5 feet wide or.
Looks like he set a beer right here.
I know. I mean, he looks like he looks like he is just gonna fucking maul you.
Yeah. Yeah. Go Chiefs.
Yep.
I hope we come out with the win today. I hope we make our way to the Super Bowl again. I hope we see another AFC Championship game somehow here in Kansas City. What's it been? How many years straight?
5?
5 years straight AFC Championship games at Arrowhead.
Yeah, I think so.
Man.
7 or 8 straight division championships, and I mean, this is an era we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, we've
seen it for a while now.
We've had those teams in the 90s that won division championships and went to the playoffs. And didn't win playoff games, but
we've seen so many shitty Chiefs teams throughout the years. It's unfucking
We've seen
real.
some really good teams that just didn't win in the playoffs.
There was once we're
not like
Matt
the Lions,
Castle, Dwayne Bowe. Matt Castle, Dwayne Bowe era. There was a year where no receiver caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, we ran the ball for like 8,000 yards.
I don't know if we did, though.
That was like 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Schottenheimer was happy to just gain 3 yards at a time. And
like, fuck. You got the Matt Castle, you got the Damon Heward, the Tyler Thigpen.
Yeah. Even Montana.
Yeah. I mean, he at least did something.
Well, he got us to the AFC Championship.
Yeah. That's better than Tyler Thigpen and Damon Heward was so fucking terrible. God. I remember those days. All right, so moving off from playoff football, go Chiefs. Election news, Christie drops out. And then our opinions on DeSantis and Haley. And then we'll look at some statistics. Christie drops out of the race. I think we all expected.
Everybody knew that was going to happen. Yeah,
that dude's so fat and fucking nasty. That dude's. And then he gets off, and you hear he drops out, and then there's the backstage hot mic talking shit on Nikki Haley. Same guy who was criticizing Vivek on stage about criticizing Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
So he's back there talking shit, running his fat ass mouth.
Yeah.
That guy's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That guy's establishment.
Yep.
Corrupt. Whatever.
Yeah, really, the only real candidates are DeSantis and Trump, right? That have.
I think everybody's getting steamrolled, and I think
that eventually will happen.
Yeah, I think people.
But since Trump ain't active,
DeSantis has a chance. Just he wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for Trump. For one, Trump endorsed him. He supported him as governor Florida.
And he's been an awesome governor.
Yeah, he was great. He should have just stayed there.
Yeah.
He should have just,
Yep.
just realized where
just like our great governor of Missouri, he's been a great governor, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Hey, by the way, Mizzou, Iowa State, go Mizzou.
Go Mizzou.
Yeah.
So the DeSantis, I mean, he kind of seems like just like a strict parent, or he doesn't open up like the Viveks or the Trump. You don't really see the real, like, what's he really after. Obviously he supports war to some extent. That we should be involved in these different things and be helping, and I like Vivek. I think Vivek's a good.
I do too.
Solid.
Vivek is solid.
He doesn't fucking miss.
Yeah.
Really on
bright.
The spot, he doesn't fucking miss.
Yeah.
Some lady tried to call him out the other day. Do you condemn white supremacy? He was like, hold the fuck on.
I know.
I'm like, let's not get into that fucking bullshit. I ain't doing it.
Wasn't playing into that narrative.
Doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it.
Yep. Yeah, he's real
called
solid.
him out on their bullshit. He's like, go ahead and write the report now.
Right.
Like you were going to do in the morning.
Yeah, and I mentioned DeSantis and Trump, but yeah, Vivek's definitely strong. Can't go Nikki, right? Can't go Nikki Haley.
Yeah. And I think, DeSantis is a good guy. I don't think he's a bad,
he's
corrupt guy. I think he's just kind of too
he's a naval officer.
Vanilla.
He's
not to
but
be
he's
racist.
been kicked. But
it's not race, just vanilla,
right.
Just plain. It's too plain,
Yeah, he's like a
fucking
Pence.
Get me on that.
He's like a Pence. He's just
he's not quite as bad, but he's
not quite as bad.
But
he kicked Disney's ass.
Yeah,
he's been kicking Disney's ass left and right since he's been in office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be cool. I think DeSantis has a place. Maybe his governorship's kind of that's. It could have been great.
Yeah,
he could have waited till next time.
Yeah, and he will. I mean, his time's probably coming.
Until next time, but I think it's going to be too late.
His time's probably coming.
He turns on Trump. I think it shows like disloyalty. And I'm not like a Trump fanatic or anything, but the guy who got you there, now you got things to say about him. You're going against him. You're running against him. You wouldn't be here without him.
Yeah.
You probably should have waited till next time.
Well, and for all of those prospective candidates, the thing that's working against them, like in normal, such non-Trump scenarios, there's a couple of them there that are real strong and probably win.
Yeah,
right.
Vivek.
But Trump, since he even started running for the first campaign and then now for a second term, everything the left does just makes him stronger.
Yeah, he eats it up.
It's the most amazing thing. And he plays them like it's like a chess match, and he's just whooping their ass. It's just incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
cool
they
to
keep
see.
Doing stupid shit. Colorado taking him off the ballot, or Maine, or whoever's, all they're doing is making it worse.
Yeah.
They're just killing themselves.
The Trump name is already such a big brand. You keep stamping his name on whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's only gonna.
He's not been found guilty of any of the things that they're charging him with, and they're taking him off the ballot. That's the kind of stuff that will just make that silent America that they once talked about really start to not be silent anymore. She'll get bad.
There's some people out there that outside of the MAGA, the I love Trump, the shit that they show on the media. There's people outside of that group that are patriots still, that are just quiet, like you're saying.
Right.
That if you start to do shit like this, like eventually you're gonna start some 1776 shit up.
That's right.
Real fucking quick.
That's exactly right, and it's happening in all demographics. I mean, women and men, no matter where they're coming from, what their perspectives are, they're waking up, and they're like, that kind of stuff right there, it just tears at the very fabric of our republic. Now, I do want to say, while we're on this subject, it is definitely worth talking about. Our founding fathers hated democracy. So we use democracy all the time. And the left really uses it, right? Because democracy is different from a republic. This country's founded on a republic. Democracy is about the majority. 51% versus 49%. That's not what we were founded on. So it's worth reminding ourselves that this thing was built on the republic form of government. And that's much different. And so all the things that we are experiencing and all these claims of it's not democratic or whatever, well, yeah, we don't want it to be democratic. We want it to be a republic. Those are different things.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know what the hell they're talking about and they keep referring to our form of government as a democracy, well, that's not what we're supposed to be. It's supposed to be a republic.
Yeah.
And that's different. They need to educate themselves on that.
Yeah. And talking about what we were founded on and why we were founded, there's Zane, look up every state's income tax, or look up the highest income taxes throughout the states. Income taxes from state to state.
You want income taxes or effective taxes?
I just want,
income,
because America was founded on that they tried to give us a 3% tax.
Yeah.
So I just want to, why we were founded.
Because some states don't have income tax.
Yeah.
So what they usually measure is on effective tax.
Mm. So you have income tax, you have property tax,
right.
You have what other
consumer taxes, whatever.
Taxes you pay for groceries at the store,
right.
for this and that.
Right.
Realistically, you're paying
35
of your
35% of your income's on taxes. 40% in some states.
More.
Yeah.
Maybe more when it everything you consume, everything. It's fucking. And where does that shit go? Who's that shit for? Ukraine.
Right.
Fuck. There's people, people in Chicago, and I forget the guy's name. We'll have to look it up. Are those numbers right?
Yeah, so Zane's referencing income taxes in these states. In every case, most would consider those states liberal. Like California's 13% income tax. So before you even get paid, 13% of your check, what you make, the government gets it. 13%.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about real tax, property taxes,
and income tax,
consumer taxes.
The money you went and worked for.
Mm-hmm.
Who decided that?
Mm-hmm.
Zane, look up how income tax was started.
Actually, taxes are mentioned
in America. Taxes
are mentioned in the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
It was something that they were very careful to craft, and then the constitutions of the states and the constitutions of the federal government are the basis for how the government recovers those taxes to provide government services. And it has gotten crazy.
It was passed by Congress on July 2nd, 1909.
Income tax. Income tax, 1909? Yeah.
It was ratified February 3rd, 1913. The 16th Amendment was established.
The 16th Amendment. Okay, 1913. Yeah.
And
the government has just the Civil War. So the Civil War resulted in the first income tax to generate those revenues, to rebuild the government and all that stuff.
So the money you go out and work for, they just get a piece of it. What is that? Like, what does that fucking sound like?
Right.
What is like?
Right. So they're taxing you before you get your check, and then they're taxing you after you get your check. Yeah. Between the federal and the state and the local governments. Yeah, you're spending 40% of what you make on taxes. Right. So, of course, business owners, entrepreneurs, our tax system's built so that they can build a business and create jobs, and they can get around that. Like, what's his name from Nebraska that doesn't pay income taxes because he's not paid a check, so he don't pay income taxes.
Yeah,
they figured that stuff out.
Definitely ways to get out of an income
which
tax,
is the right way.
Not,
I mean, those that create jobs should get taxed differently, right? That's just the way it should be.
Yeah.
If you wanted to get taxed differently or get taxed less, then go create jobs.
It's just you hear the tax the rich thing. It's just not going to happen. The rich, they pay taxes differently, like you're saying.
That's right.
It doesn't work like that.
Right, they can't.
So it ends up coming down on the middle class, and then we all fight about it. And,
Our business is taxed differently than someone who's working somewhere for someone else.
Yeah.
Those are income taxes.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not defending our tax system's broke. It needs to be changed for sure. In fact, I've always been a big fan of the flat tax, where just get rid of income taxes completely. Get rid of the IRS, remake that, but only give it when we get paid. We get all our money, and then you just tax us on how we spend our money.
What if everybody just comes to an agreement and just says fuck paying taxes, everybody at once? What happens then?
Well, that's
That's
revolt.
what it's going to fucking come to.
That's revolt. That's Civil War.
Yep.
You know, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So moving on to the next topic, Nikki Haley. How do you feel about Nikki Haley at this point?
Well, I don't consider her a strong candidate. I thought she did a good job for Trump, and that was a couple of years maybe, but no, not a fan. Like we talked about earlier, it's either Trump or Vivek, maybe DeSantis. I am intrigued by Bobby Kennedy Jr. as an independent. So I know we've been tracking him, and
we went to his
rally.
Last
we just
month.
got to get him on the ballot. Like, as Americans, it'd be great to have a third candidate. That's
It'd be
serious.
good to see him on the ballot.
That's
for
right.
Sure. But it comes down to it.
Americans ought to get him on the ballot.
Yeah.
Because what he's talking about is things that really nobody else is talking about except maybe Vivek.
Yeah. I think he probably has a place in the White House with Trump.
That'd be great vice president.
Yeah. I think he has a place in there.
Yeah. Well, I'd say vice president would be even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikki Haley, she seems like I was saying earlier, I heard this on somebody else talking about this. I can't remember where it was, but you don't see her on any podcast. You don't see her on something live, or you see her at the debates where they're prepared. They maybe have an idea what type of questions, or just the formal aspect to it kind of makes her feel safe, maybe. But she seems snobby to me. Seems like if DeSantis, you see him on podcasts, you see Vivek on podcasts. Trump hopped on the fucking Nelk Boys podcast. I think a podcast is a place where you don't have that extra security. It is what it is. You're here talking.
Yeah.
You fucking throw it up there, and that's that. You haven't seen her be willing to, and that seems snobby to me, because it's like, no, I ain't hopping on a podcast. What the fuck?
Well, I think that's
with who? These little dudes.
Right. I mean, they can't. She can't have a playbook.
Yeah.
Right. She don't have something to read from or prepare for. I think that these podcasts and these real live sort of winging it kind of discussions.
It opens you up.
It does. It finds out who you really are. Right. You get real about things.
Yeah. And you see her out here preaching war and that we need to help this country and be over there and do this. And she's been involved in the big corporations and, just gaining popularity amongst the establishment, gaining money from being in these big positions, and then turn it over. And and trying to use it to her advantage. I think she's the Republican Biden. I think she's like the plant. You know, if not Biden, this is the establishment.
So that standard
on the other side.
Right.
Which if you go far left or if you go far right, too far, you're the fucking same shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're the same thing.
You know,
it makes too extreme.
It makes me think, you know, there's these projections that our economy is going to fail, and it's probably going to happen to at some level or another. And you know, I don't know why we don't just become isolationists for a period of time.
What do you mean?
Like go nationalist to the nth degree, right? I mean, we're seeing candidates around the world or countries that are electing people that are nationalists like Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing. It just means you love your country, right?
Yeah.
And so why don't we just isolate for I'm not saying like completely cut off all ties, but stop spending money in every other country for like 2 terms.
Yeah.
You know, this big debt problem that's going to cause this economic crisis. And then we'll talk about these other companies too that are screwing things up. But our debt is so high, that has to be dealt with eventually. You can't just continue to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to pay that debt down quickly, just stop throwing money at these other countries, period. Like, don't spend anything on any other country for like 2 terms, for like 10 years.
At least a year, test it out. You know, a year, we're not sending money
Our
to this
debt's
place.
so high, I don't know if you can do it.
Sending money to this place.
Right.
We're focusing on our schools. We're focusing on, you know, just education, fucking the homeless problem. I think we can turn things around.
Yeah. Well, it would be maybe you could call it an experiment, but it's going to take several years to pay that debt down to something that's manageable. Yeah. So your generation and your kids' generation and their kids' generation aren't paying this debt right now. I mean, it's crazy high.
Things like becoming energy independent, using our own fucking resources.
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on ourselves. I think we were the number one.
We got to get these jackasses out of office that are doing these things that just don't make no sense. And they're spending money on other countries' bullshit. And we're buying other people's oil. I mean, it's not like we can cut off oil. In fact, I watched something the other day, this EV thing. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, really. Because it was Josh Hawley was just ragging on this guy and pointing out that 70+% of all this EV stuff is produced in China. Mm-hmm. And so we're letting our whole entire car and truck industry be dictated by China. Yeah. That's what he was pointing out.
It's a tough world. And, I think I seen somewhere that if these were made here in the U.S., these iPhones, we'd be paying $5,000 for them. So it's a deep problem that we've been doing this for far too long. We can't depend on ourselves. These would be $5,000.
I was thinking about that the other day. So the fact that they're affordable, or what we call affordable, is because they're made overseas, right? Mm-hmm. And if they were made here, they'd be 5 times more, right? Yeah. So our country has to reconcile that too. Mm-hmm. Like, we have to think about our values a little bit differently and make some adjustments. Like, why does it cost so much to make it here? Mm-hmm. We got to figure that shit out.
Not making enough of it, I think.
Well, or we're expecting too much for our labor.
Yeah.
I mean, we got people in this country that hardly do shit and make $50, $60 an hour.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And they're so they're the ones that are going to make these things, right? Mm-hmm. So why are we paying $50, $60 an hour to make these? That's why they're not making them here. Mm-hmm. It's because we want too much for our labor to make them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a free market thing. It's real simple. If it costs too much to make it here, they're going to go elsewhere and make it. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, shame on them, too, for using slave labor, child labor, all that stuff to make them, and we're buying them, right? Yeah. So we're just as guilty. Mm-hmm. But the reason why they're making them over there is because we got people here that want too much for their labor. They value themselves too high.
Yeah. That's a culture issue.
It is a culture issue.
The
I value labor, man. I'd love folks that work hard and do the work that needs to be done every day. We also got to consider that they're either making it there or they're making it here at less cost. So just because they're making it over there, don't bitch because they're making it over there if you're asking too much. Yeah. Like, we got people that won't go to work for less than $30 or $40 an hour.
We got people that won't go to work.
Come on.
Here. We got people in America that won't go to work unless they're able to work from home.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
right.
That's where we're at.
We're so damn spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
fucking
insane.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
and the tax, yeah, we got to fix the tax. Both those subjects go hand in hand. That's right.
Moving on from this,
right.
Christie drops out. We got through that. Opinions on DeSantis and Haley. DeSantis probably has a place somewhere. It's not president. It can't be. He's just not. He's not. I think he's not likable. I think Haley's not likable. I think Haley's not relatable. But moving on to statistics, Zane, look up the just the statistics of kind of the polls. What's maybe Iowa?
Yeah,
look up
how
the big everybody's doing in Iowa.
Yeah,
right now.
Iowa and New Hampshire are the two.
But I think people are wasting their time. I think DeSantis, Haley. I think DeSantis made a huge mistake by trying to run for president. I think there's somebody back there that he became such a good governor, and people started to get to know him for the right thing. And I think it's somebody deceived him by encouraging him, flattering him, saying, yeah, dude, I think you can do this. I think you need to do this. And he listened to it too much.
Well, there's two things there. Like, you have to go through this process, even though Trump's not even involved and he's leading the polls.
Mm-hmm.
And he's because he's leading the polls, he's not active in this process, right? We have to have prospective candidates going through the process because what if he doesn't make it? What if he is convicted? What if he dies?
Yeah.
We got to have candidates have been through this process and we know about them and who would be the next in line, right?
Yeah.
The other thing about DeSantis and some of these other candidates, Christie, Haley, they've been through these things before. But it's kind of like interviewing. They're interviewing, right? Mm-hmm. And so the interviewing sharpens your pencil. You're more ready in future cycles for that candidacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to go through it and sharpen your pencil and go through that interview process because you're more ready next time.
Yeah. What the fuck are the Democrats doing? Like,
I don't know. I mean, they got to be scared shitless.
They said, I think last year they announced that there wasn't going to be any debates or any other candidates. They're rolling with Joe Biden.
Going all in on Biden. The guy can't even speak.
RFK has to roll over to independent and whatever. But it just, that's one thing that America's missing. It's like these guys aren't even allowing anybody else to get in there.
Right. That's why I like that third candidate.
It's so fucking corrupt.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to have any debates. You're not going to let anybody. There's nobody. Joe Biden's your guy.
And who's our vice president? What's her name? Kamala Harris.
What the fuck does she do?
Where is she at?
What does she do?
Where is she at? I mean, like, you don't see anything from her.
But
if the Democrats really felt strongly about their president, our president, and vice president, knowing Joe Biden was like, I mean, let's just be honest, that guy is not ready. He's not doing well now. There's no way he's ready for another presidency.
He's had brain surgery.
If they had done things right, Kamala Harris would be ready. But they're not running her at all.
She's black and she's a woman, so it works.
Yeah,
that's where it ends.
Yeah, but they're not
she's fucking stupid.
She's not even stupid. She's not even considered a candidate.
Yeah. No, I think what you're going to see, a lot of people are, predicting that Biden will drop out at some point for health reasons, and then in steps in Michelle Obama, Mike Obama. Yeah, Mike Obama. Wouldn't it be perfect? A black woman, Obama's wife, husband, whatever you want to call her. Wouldn't it be perfect?
I guess so. Depending on who you are.
I mean, like that. So that's what a lot of people. You got some statistics. So what's the?
There's nobody else. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There's nobody else.
Let me answer this.
They're all in on Biden.
Hold on, I got to answer a phone call. My wife's calling. Katie, how are you doing?
Yeah.
We're getting towards the end of this podcast. You're on the podcast right now.
I think it's a.
All right. I'll be there, and we're about to wrap this up, and I'll be heading there. All right. Love you. Bye. So yeah, here in Kansas City, we're dealing with the big storm, bunch of snow. So that was my wife on the phone. I got to go pick her up from work here in a minute. So
all right, yeah,
we'll wrap this up after a minute.
Cold weather, snow. She don't want to drive, so you're giving her a ride. Yeah,
Trump is dominating in every fucking statistic. It don't fucking matter. These people are wasting their time.
I just am still surprised that the Democrats are all in on Biden. His polls are so low.
It makes no fucking sense.
They haven't brought anybody else forward.
Yeah,
as a candidate.
Well, Gavin Newsom is a high possibility.
Yeah, no,
Governor of California. That could be a little sneak trick they pull.
Yep,
bringing him in. Biden drops out, or Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama was on a podcast recently and said she was just terrified of things that are going on. Just terrified. So we might see that. Who knows? Zane, what would you do?
I mean, that's what they would have to do, right? They would, if Biden's not going to be a serious candidate. So the easiest thing for them to do is bring in a Michelle Obama, or what was the other one you mentioned?
Newsom,
Gavin Newsom. So the easiest thing for them to do is just quickly get Michelle Obama on the ballot or Gavin Newsom and go with it. Because that's all they got.
Okay, these numbers are probably different everywhere, and there's probably, I know abortion is a big, big topic. We're not women, but I think in the abortion topic, it is being politicized, and the people that really want to have a say, that should have a say, that it affects the most, I feel like they get less of a voice because it's so politicized.
Yeah.
It's either way over there or way over there. It's nothing in between.
Yeah.
So it's hard for any man to speak on it. What I believe isn't what I want to be enforced. What I want to be enforced on the rest of the world. I have my own beliefs. What I would do in my own household.
Yeah.
But I think today's just so crazy. Abortion's a tough topic. I know my wife has a slightly different view than I do, and you probably have a different view, and but it's being so politicized that the people that should really have a voice that actually care get less of a voice, or maybe they get looked at as one thing when they really didn't have control over the final say in it. Abortion is one of the biggest topics. Maybe we should bring on a woman with kids to discuss that more in depth.
Yeah.
I'm not the most educated on
on
things like that, but
as a God-fearing person, I have my beliefs. I think it's an incomplete conversation without women in the room.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
But my opinion is it's too politicized. It takes away the power from the people when they create their own narrative around it and use it to their advantage. I think it takes away from the purpose that everybody has, you know, through their opinion.
Yep.
It says Statista.com. The government / poor leadership, immigration, economy in general, high cost of inflation, or high cost of living / inflation. The government / poor leadership. Who would have fucking thought that one?
Right.
You know, who would have fucking...
Single biggest
Jesus
fucking problem.
Christ.
Single biggest problem.
I mean...
We've been talking about that.
You can identify a strong leader.
Yeah.
You can identify a Andy Reid or I'm trying not to say Trump, but Trump is obviously a great businessman.
Great businessman. I don't know if I'd categorize him as a great leader.
Has probably millions of employees across the board.
Yeah.
The companies that he's involved in, and then he creates a culture through. Yeah. I'd say he's a good fucking leader.
Yeah, you can have success in the business world, even as a president, and not be a great leader.
And different types of leaders are different, you know, and some people might say he's a dick, but, you know, your boss might be a dick, but he might be getting the fucking job done. You know?
Yeah, if you want to make money, you want to be on Trump's team.
Yeah.
Right?
Poor leadership. I think it's when there is great leadership, there's no question, and people follow.
Yeah.
And I think there's nobody to follow when it comes to our top tier leadership.
It's our biggest problem in the world is the lack of leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not seeing that. We haven't seen it for a while. I mean like decades.
Mm-hmm. A true leader for us, make us believe in America, make the economy better, help make it better easier for Americans to live day to day. I think that's just not happening with the leadership we have right now.
And, you know, I'm going to have to say, like, I don't care if a person speaks well or understands business or, you know, is good with the military or, you know, just because you're good at one or multiple of those areas, just because you can speak well and articulate your vision well or whatever does not mean you're a great leader.
Yeah.
Just because you know how to make money or, you know, you're a nationalist and you're against the grain and you do care about people, you know, doesn't mean you're a great leader. Like, we haven't seen a great leader in a long time. This country has not seen great leaders. This world has not seen great leadership for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We have got to focus on leadership starting at the youngest levels and grow those skills throughout their childhood and young adulthood. Mm-hmm. That has to happen. This whole world sucks because there's no leadership. All the chaos we have in this world is for two reasons. We've lost God and we don't have leadership. Mm-hmm. We're not putting people in leadership positions that know how to lead.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also as a follower or being under a great leader, it is very important to allow them to lead.
That's right.
To do their thing.
That's right.
And know that they're not perfect.
Yep.
There might be some mistakes.
Oh, that's the other thing. Yeah.
You got to sit back and let this motherfucker do his thing.
That's right. Yeah. Leaders are not perfect.
Yeah.
We're not looking for perfection in people.
Great leaders will admit that, though, right? And that's one of Trump's faults. When he makes a mistake, he just doesn't admit to it. And
I know it.
And it's like, man, how?
Just say it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
If you made a mistake, say it. People have more respect for you.
Exactly.
But I think
nobody wants to admit their mistakes when they're in those positions. It's like, just admit it's fine. Yep. We know you're not perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So leadership in America is failing.
Whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of people depend on America's leadership, and you're seeing that crumble right now.
That's true.
You know, a lot of people from around the world, not just in America, but you know, you see America right now. You see the homeless problem. You see the COVID that fucking wrecked everything.
Yeah.
You know, Trump. had the opportunity to not shut everything down. You know, he had with Megyn Kelly, had the opportunity to clarify that there was two genders. He didn't. You know, there's holes in everything, and people make mistakes, but I think right now America needs a leader that's so fucking extreme, pro-freedom.
Yeah, that's like
that just wrecks through it all,
right?
And then just fucking straightens shit up.
It's the freedom part of it, right?
Yeah.
We need leadership that's principle based. Like they don't vary from their principles.
Mm-hmm.
Great leaders stand on their principles.
Yeah.
And it's okay if others don't agree, right? It's okay. We shouldn't disagree. We shouldn't agree on most things.
Yeah.
But there should be disagreement, right? But if we're respectful to everybody else, and even in our principles, if we disagree, then most people can live with that, right? Yeah. We haven't had leadership that's grounded in principles.
Yeah.
They won't just say what's on their mind. Mm-hmm. You know, about certain issues. They beat around the bush and don't just say it. Mm-hmm. And if you screw up, then admit it, you screwed up.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next topic of immigration, big issue right now. One of the, you know, on all the lists, it's, you know, always there, concerning for Americans. Tons of people coming over the border. And it's a fucking big problem. There's drugs, there's sex trafficking, there's human trafficking, there's and just a bunch of unaccounted for minors that they keep seeing. But it's a big. What's your opinion?
If we really cared about people, we'd close the border.
Yeah.
If we really cared about people, we'd close the border. We'd finish it. Finish the border, close it, shut it down. If we really cared about people, but we don't really care about people.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, there's human trafficking, sex trafficking, child trafficking, and then drugs, fentanyl. Fentanyl's coming across the border like it's just pouring across the border.
Yeah.
So if we really cared about kids, we'd close it down.
Yeah.
Get a handle on things and then streamline our immigration process so it's easier for people to come in here. We're a country of immigrants. We got to make it easier.
Yeah. One thing I have heard from DeSantis that I like is he said that if he was president, he's going to categorize the cartels as terrorist groups and fucking, but like, what does that mean? What I think, like, you fucking bomb the shit out of the Taliban and go to war with ICE. These guys are on the other side of the fucking lawn.
Right. They're causing more damage to the U.S. than
Why don't you go in there and get rid of them?
Right.
They've killed more. They kill people every fucking day.
Right. They kill more Americans than any of these other countries do. Right.
I could probably name off fucking 25 friends that I grew up with that have died, that are no longer alive from fentanyl. And, you know, personal choices, personal responsibility, that's a thing too. But looking at the large numbers, like you ship fentanyl, large numbers of fentanyl or any drug into a population of, you know, a lot of fucking people, it's going to have an effect. You know, it's
our politicians and bureaucrats just don't care enough about people. I mean, if you did, you'd just shut down the border because then you wouldn't have all these deaths, right? I mean, they're off on some island with pedophiles. You know, that's what they've been doing. Yeah, they're the people that are making these decisions for the last few decades. Close down the border.
Yeah.
If you don't want people to die, if you don't want kids to die, if you don't want kids to suffer, then shut down the border and then streamline our immigration process. It's that simple. Yeah. They just don't care. It's that easy.
I think they care. I think they care about something that all of us, it's not in our best interest.
No. It's exactly right. Their
I think
motivations.
it's deeper. I think it's, you know, there's something there that everybody can kind of point out, all right, this is wrong. There's something going on here, though. Yeah. There's something there. Like, why would you just want to open the borders and let people through? Like, what is it? You want to give them rights to vote, and
they want to
have
create
more
chaos.
voters for yourself? Do you want to start a war internally, civil war? Do you want these people to come over here and not have American tradition and not care about anything that we have established? Right. And the one side to not like that, the other side is them, and you want them to to fight each other, or what is going on? Like,
they want to totally tear this country down and remake it into something else. That's really all.
Build back better.
They don't care about people.
Yep.
They don't. There's people in control of this country that aren't politicians even, that are dictating everything that happens. Yeah. And they just totally want to turn this country into something different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be America anymore. It's not going to be the America that the whole world has looked up to for a few hundred years now.
Mm-hmm.
And we cannot let that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If it makes sense to you, I pray for you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's...
You're lost.
I don't know.
Well, yeah.
We'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about these issues. If you have opinions, drop them down in the comments. If you have suggestions on what certain points that we should hit on, drop it down in the comments. We'll get it done.
Yep.
Thank you all. We're going to watch some fucking football. Hopefully the Chiefs can get this win, and we'll see you next time.
Go Chiefs. Live your free reign.